Flex Lewis here, straight out of the Lair. Hello, hello.
Hello.
You are live. Who is this we're speaking to?
I have a question, a very in-depth question here that I'm hoping you can help me out with.
Fire away. This accent is...
In your heyday, you at your best and Lee Priest at his best, who would have won?
Oh, yeah, there's some bias here. So, well, I always say Lee, and Lee always says me. I'd hope that would be the case. But why are you asking, and why are you calling from Australia?
That's damn right. You better say me. That's because I'm the fucking champion. How you going, mate?
Good, man. Hey,
I just thought I'd call in and annoy you on your live program for a minute in between night you and Lee.
Well, Lee, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And obviously, we are going to have you on the hot seat here when you come to Vegas in the future, my friend. We are all excited. And I, for one, obviously, as the history goes.
Oh, yes. Wait till I get on there live and tell many stories. As I've said, it could be your last podcast, but it will be a good one.
Well, listen, I know this for a fact. You are a man of many stories, and I, for one, am excited to get you here. Both myself, Ali, and Doug, obviously, have been fans of you for many years, mate. So I appreciate you calling in and asking, actually breaking the ice. You are caller number one, believe it or not.
Caller number one.
That's right.
Oh, well, number one. Well, that says it all then. I'm actually still number one at something. There we go.
Well,
now, why is it I can never call in a radio station and win money? When the caller number one wins money, I can never win shit.
Well, unfortunately, the money part on this end has dried up fast, you know. But we'll find.
Play T-shirt.
Oh, we'll find. Yeah, we'll find the
T-shirt to be number one or what?
There we go. Yes.
We'll find the consolation prize, Lee. No problem.
We'll send you a care package.
Okay.
Hey, when are you coming to Olympia?
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say a quick hello. I'll let the proper people call in now. I'm going back to try train legs here. It's like 10 to 7 in the morning in Australia here. So I just wanted to say a quick hello and love watching your podcast, by the way, too. And hello, everybody there. Hello to your wife, Ali, and everybody else in studio.
Hello.
What's up, Lee?
Thank you, Lee.
Hello.
We appreciate you, mate.
Yes.
Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, mate.
Yes, I'll let you get back to the serious people now. I'm going back to be a wanker in here.
Never the case. Thank you, Lee, for breaking the ice, my friend. As always, a pleasure. And get back to them leg day.
I'll see you on the circles.
See you on the circles. A little plug there for the circles for anybody who's not watching.
Good morning. 98 circles to catch up on.
Thank you, man. Take care, my friend.
Have a good one.
See you, Lee.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that is a great first caller, right?
That's how you break the ice.
Phenomenal. What a legend Lee Priest is.
We missed one, but that's okay. It's gonna come through again.
I'm sure it will. I sure will. But anyway, calling all the way from Australia.
Yeah.
What time did you say it was there?
10 to 7.
10 to 7.
Right? In the morning?
Oh, yeah, so Lee is coming to Vegas for the Olympia.
Okay.
So we're going to be getting him on the podcast. And, I know that man has got many a story.
Yeah. He's still a beast, though. I mean,
He
I watch him on the circles, and it's crazy. I mean, we see him in the garden, right? He has all the garden knowledge, and then he still trains crazy, and it's just...
He's still a freak.
Yeah.
He really is.
He really is.
It's cool to see.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about bodybuilders, yesterday we had, I think he's from Czech Republic, and I can't remember his last name, but he was the champion in the other division.
Yeah.
The IFBB Elite.
The bullshit league.
You could say it. And obviously now he's crossing over to the IFBB Pro League.
Yeah.
He was here yesterday, and I think a couple of days ago he was at Bear Francis Gym.
He looks crazy, man.
He looks fucking stupid.
Those fucking wheels are nuts.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing him at 3 o'clock, so in about an hour's time he's coming to the gym. We're going to catch up, chat, see what the plans are. And one thing I didn't know is that he speaks English.
I didn't know that either.
So that's a massive benefit. Obviously, if you kind of correlate both him and Big Ramy, as the mass monsters. Big Ramy, when he came to this country, originally couldn't speak a word of English. So in terms of where Ramy is now and learning a new language, I take my hat off to him, because obviously Ramy's stock has gone up tremendously since he's been able to learn a new language and obviously open the doors to all his European fans, American fans, etc., etc.
How do you think, and honestly, I don't want to butcher his name.
Let me see how he pronounces his name.
I was going to say, I really don't want to butcher it, especially on the air, but how do you think he compares to, the top 10 lineup at the Olympia? Honestly.
I think he's going to, honestly, looking at his physique now and just what popped up, as long as this guy comes in condition, I think he's going to be a threat in that top 5.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely, because he's a new face too, he's an exciting new face. He's
He
definitely
is.
one that is caused a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Being in the pro league, being in the pro elite.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, he was the champ, right?
Yeah.
So there was always that conversation of him versus so-and-so. There was so many comparisons. And you look at some of his shots, I mean, listen, he's gonna be very competitive on a lot of them shots.
I think so
shots.
too. I think at least in the beginning, it's going to be all eyes on him. Yeah. I really do. I think it's going to be all eyes on him, just because everybody's been waiting for that moment.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's going to be interesting to see how when he stands next to some of these people.
Yeah, some of the more seasoned vets.
Yeah.
Well, that's saying that though. There's a very young lineup.
A very young lineup.
So when we say seasoned vets, I think the only seasoned vet up there is Brandon.
Ramy.
And Ramy.
Ramy's on that, he's been
around
competing
long
enough,
enough.
but
Yeah.
he's been around long enough, you're right. But then you've got, a lot of the young faces are going to be up there. And what's going to be exciting this year also, if they give Derek Lunsford that special invite, he's definitely going to cause a lot of upset in that mix too.
I think it's going to be interesting.
He's so big right now.
He is.
Yeah. He's going to struggle if he does
A
it.
ton of mass.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get as big as what he did in the off season, but even as big as I was and as lean as I was in the off season, it was so hard. Or you guys all know this, but it was so hard for me to make that weight. Coming from 235, I would literally grow into the show, and then I'd be stuck, literally in this 220s, 226 range.
I would worry for Derek. I would worry that if he made that cut, too extreme of a cut, pulling that muscle out, sometimes it's hard to fill back up.
Yeah.
That can be really tough.
Well, and it's also just not great for your body to do that much of a muscle cut, because it has to go through. It has to filter through your kidneys. And burning that muscle. I mean, and I know it's a specific scent too. When you burn all that muscle off, and it's sad.
Smells
It's
like shit.
Yeah, it's like ammonia, but it's also sad to see. I think I know a few people, I know us all included, have seen what you look like 224, and it's like, where are 12 pounds coming from?
No.
And then where it's coming from, and you're like, well, what is that going to look like? And that sucks that has to come off, because this right here is perfect, So, but yeah, what he's done with his physique in the amount of time is truly unbelievable. I mean, it's not really been that much time that he's been working with Hani.
No, and I think that was the key.
It really was.
Was having a coach that really pushed him hard in the off season, because you see, I mean, he came here for the grand opening, and I was telling him then, it's like, bro, how are you going to make weight for the Olympia?
Yeah, and now he's just fucking nuts.
He's ballooned out. And then who else is very impressive to me right now? Rafael Brando.
Oh man,
He's looking huge.
What a pretty physique.
Oh yeah,
He's huge. He's coming in September, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we do together going into the Olympia there. And then there's that Russian kid, Good Vito. Have you seen him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that kid's a freak.
Yeah, there's some new ones coming up. It's interesting.
It is. I'm looking forward to seeing that kid, Good Vito, on a pro stage. I know he's got his pro card, but he's very impressive. Very impressive to me. He's got beautiful round muscle bellies. He's not blown out. Doesn't have a gut or anything like that. Crazy legs. It just flows really, really well.
Did you see, who was it that just said it recently? Was it, might have been Sean Ray. I can't remember. I don't listen to what he says. But was it him that said that Nick, he thinks Nick could have the upset.
Yeah, I
Was
seen
it?
it. Yeah, Sean Ray said that. Believe he threw his pillow next to me. I think that Sean Ray said that. I get granted. I only seen, clickbait, right? I don't know what was
Yeah,
said.
I didn't. I don't click on those interviews. But
Yeah, he said that he thought that Nick Walker could be a front runner. For coming in.
Well, I get the point that he was making, which is the freak factor.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's hard. Everybody always looked at Rami as a freak, but Nick's a freak as well, right? Almost freakier in some ways, but it's going to be interesting.
I said it one time in the past podcasts. I feel like the sport is changing in a more aesthetic factor. I don't know what this year's Olympia is going to look like or how it's going to be judged, but just seeing, all the newer guys coming through, I think there's more of a aesthetic look for the bigger guys. I don't want to get my words taken out of context either. Obviously I said mass monsters, but then when you look at the early 2000s, that's mass monsters.
100%.
You're talking Ronnie, Marcus Rule, Jay Cutler. I mean, the list goes on. Them guys were all competitive against one another, and because, Ronnie the King was on the top of the throne, everybody was trying to be as competitive as that to stand next to him on size and sheer mass.
And broad conditioning.
Yes.
That was the craziest part, I think, about all of that, that era.
Well, I think this year what's nice is that not all of these people have competed on the same stage together at their best. No. So as of old, you'd have new people come in, but you would have, the normal people that would come in, We have a call.
Oh.
Hello.
You are live.
You are live.
Hello?
You are live.
Hello, how's it going?
What's going on? Who's this?
You're good. I had a question for Flex.
Fight away. Uh-oh.
And my question is, if you had to start from scratch, what were the 3 things you would need to start a successful business?
On the business front or bodybuilding business?
Business side.
Doug, you want to take this away since it's in your, and then I'll answer at the tail end?
3 things that you need or 3 things that you wish you would had before starting a business?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Is it 3 things?
Yeah,
that,
3 things. Like if you went bankrupt, and you had to start over completely, what would it be the 3 things you would need to have or to start a successful business?
Well, the first thing I would say to that is if you went bankrupt, I hope you learned something. I think that's the first thing that I would hope.
Are we speaking from personal experience? Yeah.
I would say that's absolutely number 1. If you didn't learn from your mistakes, you're absolutely going to repeat them. So that's the first thing. Second, be really passionate about whatever it is you're going to do. If you're only doing it for money, you're going to fucking lose. Mm-hmm. And third, know who you're going into business with if you are doing business with partners. I mean, don't just know them, but really know them. It's like a marriage, so.
or who you're going to hire. So if you're not going into business, having a team, whoever's quote unquote in your team would be very key, because you're not doing anything alone. No one ever succeeds alone.
No, and if they do, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not fun to eat steak by yourself.
No.
Yeah. I guess with me, obviously taking the back end of what these guys said, 3 things is, be passionate about what you're doing. Because if you get up every morning and you hate building, a business that you cannot stand or you're not passionate about, it's going to be reflective. I would say number 2, if you're expecting to have fast cash out of something, no, this is a long game. Money made is money invested. So I would keep on putting it back in the business. With us at Arsenal Strength, we didn't take my first paycheck till about maybe a year and a half ago, and the company was founded in 2015. And lastly, I think, pretty much what these guys have already touched upon is, learn everything about that business you're in, learn from other people's pitfalls, and really get educated in the whole, genre that you're you're trying to do that business in. So, for example, if let's just say you're, want to be a personal trainer and you're walking into the gym for the first day, I would find out what everybody is charging rates for. I would see how many clients they're taking in on that every single day, and then make sure that the clientele that they're training, for example, again, I'm just throwing this from the hip here, fit the demographic that you want to train. Because if you're coming to a super hardcore powerlifting gym, spit and sawdust, we're not talking dragons there, we're talking spit and sawdust, and you're wanting to train a 60-year-old woman in there, it's not going to work, right? So, you have to, again, this is shooting completely from the hip here. You have to know your space that you're in, and then build your platform from that. And also be unique. Look and see what everybody else is doing, and pretty much, be different in that sense. We got another caller coming in, so I hope that helps. Hello, you are live.
It's Antoine.
Yes, this is Antoine Vaillant.
Hey! What is going on, my brother? You are live on the Straight Outta The Lair podcast, episode 10.
I know. I was doing your podcast so much, I forced my way in.
Man, I appreciate you. We were getting off one call, and I'm just very happy that you hung on for us to take the call. How are you, my friend? You are literally a day out from your show.
Yeah, I'm exactly less than 44 hours out from that Chicago Pro.
Wow. Well,
I just got my tan on. I'm just in the bed right now waiting to eat a meal in 20 minutes, and figured I'd call 7 times Mr. Olympia Flex Lewis.
Well, Matt, what's going through your head right now? How are you feeling? Tell us exactly what the new version that we're going to expect this coming weekend is going to look like.
I feel pretty good. I'm kind of like calm and collected. You know how it's like a roller coaster in the head sometimes? You feel like you're worried, or sometimes you feel like you're good. But I've been feeling mostly really good. And we're just kind of smooth sailing and coasting, because with the pictures and the check-ins I get with Dorian and stuff, and it's like we're pretty much there. So it's like we're not going to do anything crazy. So we're just going to really focus on being dry and having a nice condition and not being flat. And I'm really positive that my package will be even better. And I'm just going to do my best again, give a great presentation, and just put a show, and, do what I do, on stage, and work hard and do the poses, pace myself. And I remember when you said, I think it was in the circles, you said, pace yourself, because they make you work. And then when I was posing after my open round, I was so exhausted, man, I got to breathe during the poses. So then I started pacing myself and breathing, little shallow breathing during the poses, and I was able to pose for a long time, and so I think this time around I got a nice warm up against Ian, and I'm really positive. And the thing is, Flex, when people say I'm gonna win this, I'm gonna win that. The thing is, you never know what the future holds, right? The only thing you can control is your effort. So I'm gonna do maximal effort and just leave the rest to the judges and the universe and see what happens. But I'm really positive, and I just, a year ago with everything that happened to me, a bunch of shit at the same time happened. I was like, man, I just want to come back, and I want to compete. Sometimes I forget that, you've done so much in bodybuilding. We're lucky to be able to do that, and you were lucky to be able to do all this stuff. And some people, they work their whole life to be a bodybuilder, and they don't quite make it, right? So I got to remember myself that where I came from, and how hard I've been working, and that I'm able to go on stage and showcase and perform, and just show my art form,
And that's what you do, my friend.
I'm really positive.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm really positive, and I try to just stay calm and relaxed. And so far, so good. I'm Doran's happy, and with how I look, and I'm just, the cool thing with having a coach and stuff, and I got support here too. It's I make zero energy making decisions.
That's great.
All my energy goes into execution. So that's peace of mind for me. I would never be able to coach myself.
Not me.
So, so that's where my mind is at, I guess.
Well, listen, I to be honest, we could have just let Antoine just talk. We could have been a whole fucking podcast. Listen, Antoine, I have to jump in here for all the viewers who haven't been privy to your incredible journey over the last, a year, maybe over a year, where you've torn your bicep, you've torn, you've been injured numerous amount of times, and you have come back. You are the comeback kid. And not only that, you came back from an horrific injury, got back on your feet, and literally were competitive to fucking could have won last week. I mean, to me, that is absolutely, mind-blowing. The fact that you had the mental fortitude to say, and also keep that energy that you always have, and that's one thing I madly respect about yourself, is you have an incredible energy, always opportunistic, and energized that things will go much better the second go around. And then you got back on your feet after having the injury, getting it repaired. We were back in the gym. You listened to the doctors. And then you were making improvements, literal improvements, live on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then were able to get back on stage pretty much in your own turf of Canada and push Ian this past weekend. So I, for one, mate, live on air, I want to say I'm proud of you. I love your sort of mentality to life. I love your mentality to getting the job done, rolling up your sleeves, going through adversity, diversity, and fucking coming out the other side and saying, like, hey, listen, if I can do it, you can do it. And mate, it's a round of applause from my end.
Yeah, exactly.
You,
that's life anyway. Like, setbacks and overcoming. Like, always, like, I've been saying, like, the past year in my head, like, setbacks are just a prerequisite for a comeback. That's all it is. And the thing is, like, it's the proof that you can make mistakes, you can fuck up, you can have a setback, and then you can come back better.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Look, it's like, if I can do it, anybody can.
I love it.
In any aspect of life, sport, or profession, or just, life in general.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, listen, Antoine, we are behind you here in Las Vegas. We are looking to see you in the winner's circle. So
go kick some ass in Chicago.
We
Good luck.
Congratulate you.
Yeah, awesome. And
so.
the pay-per-view is on the Wings of Strength Instagram. Just click the link in their bio. I'm on at 11:30 a.m. Chicago time, whatever that is. So if your viewers want to tune in and stuff, and cheer me on from afar, give me good vibes to the universe, I'll be happy, and grateful for that. But I won't keep you guys much longer. I just want to call you and see if this thing actually works. So I'm glad I did.
Oh, I'm glad you did too, my friend. And as I've said many times to you before, what an incredible journey. Very proud of you, and we're looking forward to seeing this. I'll
see you guys at the Olympia.
Yes, you will. Yes,
damn
you will.
right.
Give my best to the
Hey,
team.
Vegas, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Take care, my brother. Take
go.
care. All right,
See ya.
Antoine. Take care, bro.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What an incredible story that guy has.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah. I mean,
Ridiculous injury.
And just to preface, I have not asked any of these guys to call in today.
No.
They obviously seen the post. I know we've had a multiple, calls all coming in at once.
And for anyone who didn't see Antoine's injury,
it was career threatening. You could go both ways. You can
I
say,
think most people would have said that's it.
because he's already torn that before. I don't know if it's the same arm or it was the other arm. I believe anyway. Well, either one. He has.
He's overcome a ton of injuries.
Yeah.
But really bounced back stronger every time.
But you see, more than anything else, you guys know how I am about posing.
Yeah.
Do you see his fucking posing routine?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Transitions and old school twists and again a very theatrical posing routine that was done, and yeah.
Yeah, I thought he looked great.
He was. He was incredible. Obviously, I've seen Antoine going into this last show that he done.
Yeah.
And followed the progress, so I knew he was bringing it.
Yeah.
But did you know that he was ahead in prejudging?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he was ahead in prejudging and scorecards.
I mean, I can see it.
Yeah.
Honestly, him and Ian, they were. I mean, he pushed him.
It's apples and oranges, right?
Yeah, it's apples and oranges. But he
Yeah.
did push him, and that's what you want to see, anyways. I mean, hats off to Ian.
Oh, yes.
He looked phenomenal.
I think that was Ian's best package.
I agree.
Hello. Are we waiting?
Hey, I was calling, so I want to ask a question.
Fire away.
Well, what I wanted to know is when you, sometimes, how do you, well, who did you, when you, the time when you had that thing and, what I want to know is how,
Breathe.
how do you go about, what's that?
Breathe. It's okay. We're here for you.
Well, when you have someone who wants to ask you about the best way to jeez.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll tell you what. Call back when you've got the fucking question.
Okay, but I just want to know how it's real simple. Just how do you go about getting the shit? I forgot what I was gonna say.
Who is this? Who is this?
It's Evan.
Oh,
it's Evan. What are you doing?
You sounded like that fucking kid on TV. Well, what's up, bro? What's up? We just had Antoine calling before this. You guys are menaces.
I had to call in.
Thank you, bro, for calling in. What is going on, my bro?
All right. No, nothing. Just wanted to call in and say hi and support and show you guys some love.
Well, that's very kind of you. I was thinking, like, my wife has got caller ID, and obviously we were like, this has got to be somebody messing around. I was like, then I was thinking maybe it's somebody genuinely nervous trying to get the question out. Oh, and then I was like, oh fucking! I told my wife. I
was trying to drive you crazy.
I was looking at my wife. I was like, hang up. It's like this fucking guy. What's going on, bro? Do you have a?
That's it.
You don't even have a question. You're calling in and you don't even have a question.
No, I just want to tell you I love you.
Oh, Evan. No, what's going on? Hey, listen.
It's true bromance.
Yeah,
live.
we just had Antoine that just called in, actually. And obviously I've said this before, but we haven't asked any of these guys to call in. And all of you guys are calling now. If I asked you guys to call in, you probably would just say, fuck off. But so now I just,
I saw Lee was calling in, so I said, well, I've got to call.
Oh, fuck, here we go. So Lee told you he called in, so next thing I've got everybody on the bloody podcast. So
Guy will be next.
Yeah, Guy will be probably in line too. Now we've had a number of different calls that came in all at once, and we're trying to like scatter them out, and I think people have just gone like, oh fuck, if I can't get in now, I'm not gonna get in later on. But either way, a little plug for the podcast. For the circles for anybody who is not privy to this. Evan Centopani has Centopani Circles. And if you're not following, you're missing out. Right, Evan? That's when you say yes, Flex, and then you plug it. Fucking hell,
I'm
Jesus.
taking up enough of your time.
I've
aggravated you enough. Do your thing.
Never. We're just all bullshitting over here. Obviously, myself, Doug, and Ali are all, just having conversation between calls here. So you're never bugging us, mate. Hey, are you having a comeback? A lot of people have been asking me. You gonna answer that question?
Honestly, physically, if I didn't have some of the let's call them injuries, And nothing that's ever officially been diagnosed or anything of that nature. But I know that I'm not able to train the way that I would want to train or need to train in order to look the way that I want to look. So at that rate, I think it's probably safe to rule out any type of comeback.
Well, there's levels to this, right, Evan? And you and I know both, even 6 months ago with all the gut issues I was going through, I knew that regardless of what I physically looked like, I knew that I wasn't putting in 100% down to the fact that nothing was digesting. So, once you kind of start having that mindset that you're not running in at 100% as you should be doing, the gas tank is on fucking 3/4, then we all have to face the reality, right?
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to look the way you want to look, and I think maybe more than anything, it's a matter of pride, and I think a lot of us are very proud of what we've built, but also that pride carries over into setting a certain standard, and if you feel to deliver that, you don't feel that you would want to display it.
Yeah, you won the New York Pro, right?
Yeah, that was actually my first show in 2009.
That's right.
And it was Marcus Rule, Dennis James, Silvio Samuel, Hida Tada, some really good guys. I mean, guys that I watched as a fan for years coming up. And I remember being nervous as hell going into that show.
Fuck, bro. That was a hell of a lineup. We were literally just talking about the mass monsters of the early 2000s, and the two names that you just mentioned,
Dennis James, Marcus Rule,
straight away come to my mind, So, needless to say, that is one hell of that was your rookie debut, correct?
That was my rookie debut.
What
And,
a fucking win.
I was lucky to come up pretty fast in the sport. And I think there were a lot of people who felt, he's a flash in the pan. He's hype. He's not going to really do it. Even at the time, I had a contract with Muscular Development, and about 6 months prior to the show, they chose to not renew it.
Oof.
I think they didn't necessarily have the faith that I was going to do well. So I felt I had a lot of pressure, and I felt that, I really needed to prove myself, and it was kind of do or die. So I never felt more pressure for a show in my life, and never put so much stress on myself. And to be quite honest, never trained harder or gave myself more to any preparation that I did. And I remember the night after I had won, walking back to the hotel room, and just thinking to myself, my God, thank God. Thank God that worked.
Well, man, you look fucking stupid. I remember seeing photos. I think you took in the Montenario Brothers gym prior to going in that you didn't post until after the fact. And holy shit, bro. You were hard as nails. And I mean, to be honest, Evan, I think you shocked so many people, man, to be honest. Not that I was a non-believer. You and I obviously were speaking of friends back then, but still, I was like, holy shit. And that's very rare these days where I get an athlete in front of me that, due to social media, that blows my fucking mind. Like, holy shit, what the fuck have you been doing? And you're one of them guys, and as you said, the New York Pro is such a prestigious title to win, outside of the Olympia and the Arnold Classic. That is the show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one show, mate, that you have over me that I was never able to do. Fuck
I
her.
was.
My wife was.
I was.
At least one of the Lewises did.
Yeah. Ali fills in the gaps. But Evan, obviously you're coming to the Olympia, right?
That's the plan, yeah. And I'd love to come see the gym afterward.
Absolutely. So we might have a little, something up our sleeves where, we might do a little something on the podcast, right?
Yes.
I would love to.
Yeah. We'll make we'll sort of cock tease a little bit until Evan, you're not very
Flex
good at
is the
cock
best
teasing.
at that.
Not very fucking good at cock teasing. You say maybe Flex, maybe not. That's my Evan impression, by the way. It's better
I promise if I come on, I'll be more direct in any questions that I ask.
Oh, no, you're great, mate. And obviously, Evan, you've transitioned. I want to say this also, that you've transitioned now into your other, you're like fucking Clark Kent. You're Evan the bodybuilder, the IFBB pro, New York pro, king, but you're also now, well, and always have been, but now more than anything else, you're grabbing the bull by the horns, and you're a financial advisor. So it's great to see you in, your role, and obviously helping many athletes. I've seen you now, talking to different athletes and promoting yourself on various socials. So it's good, mate, that, you're helping athletes with their money and handling their money, because we all damn well know that most of these bodybuilders, unfortunately, they get a contract and then the first thing they want to do is put a fucking set of rims on their car and, front in front of things they can't afford. So I'm glad that you are one of the guys who have not only wore the pants of being a competitor on stage, but, shrewdly investing his money. So, shout out to you on that, mate.
I sincerely appreciate it. I've been very fortunate to partner with a great team of guys, and been extremely fortunate to have some tremendous success early on, and had the opportunity to work with some great individuals, whether they're influencers, athletes, business owners, a lot of people from the industry. And ultimately, as you said, it's the opportunity to positively affect someone's life, and really, money, because it's a vital part of all our lives. It's something that we all need, in no matter what stage of life we're in or what capacity, we all need to continually be financially planning. So it's maybe not always the most sexy subject. And for a lot of people, it's a painful subject, something maybe they don't want to face, but once they do, they feel infinitely better about it. They take control of their lives, and it's just it's something that has the ability to positively impact your life. So
absolutely,
I feel very fortunate to be doing it.
Well, mate, it's fucking sexy to three of us here sitting in this seat, because obviously, myself and Ali are partners in business, and Doug has got his empire of everything going on over there. So yeah, listen, you've heard me many a time saying on the circles about stuff like this. So it's a subject that's near and dear to my heart and many of us in this room, mate. So I really hope that your platform allows more athletes to get in contact with you, whether you work with them or not. Just more than anything else, direct them in a better path so they can,
That's correct.
Yeah.
If you can help somebody, even, no matter in what capacity, it's always a win.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Evan, we have another call coming in, my friend. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. And I will speak to you soon, my friend.
See you, Evan.
Bye.
See you, Evan.
Love you guys. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, man.
See you.
All right. Yeah, Evan is fucking killing it, bro.
Hey, that's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. It sounds like I'm fucking bringing all these guys on a plug them, but this is genuine. This is these guys calling in. Good friends calling in, right? When I see these fuckers later, I'm gonna be like, thanks guys for
Yeah, it's nice.
No,
Well, and
that's good.
it's actually kind of cool because the names that they bring too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Names
it
and
is.
stories that we don't know what they're asking or going to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or try to tell us.
Do we lose a couple of calls when we were on then?
Yeah.
It's all good.
But
It's
that's
all
okay.
good.
They'll call back.
I'm sure there's calling back.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not fucking texting people over there, that's all I care about.
No, I'm trying to go through
She's
this.
manning the phone.
She is
Yeah.
manning the phone. I think she's scrolling through Instagram as a decoy.
No, there's nothing on
It's
here.
okay. It's okay. We believe you. Anyway, Doug, you got anything interesting going on right now that you can talk about?
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
I can't share much of what I'm working on right now.
NDAs.
Yes. All of them.
Yes, all of them. All of
Just
them.
gotta
But
bite my tongue and say a lot of cool shit coming.
yeah.
That's all I can say.
Did we have a chance to talk about the juniors?
I think we touched on
Did
it.
we touch on it?
Yeah, I think we touched on it. It was a great show.
Yeah.
We had a great time. I
Yeah.
love getting a chance to work with Sandy and Robin.
Absolutely.
Maria, Mercy, everybody.
Yeah. Great team. Obviously, that was my Olympia team.
Exactly. I mean, mine too.
It would be
That's
very,
good.
it would be very hard. Obviously, 2018 was the last time I stepped on stage, and I think it was the last year that they put the show on as a group.
2019.
Was it 2019?
No, it was
2018.
18 because it was the
yeah.
last time I did it too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah, it would
We
be-
all ended together.
Yeah,
On
and obviously
19.
there was no, rhyme to reason in that.
No, no.
Everybody knows I took that year off to put sides on. It fucking haunts me to this day. I should have done that 2019 show, but it is what it is. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Don't like living like that, but
Love seeing Brandon win it.
Again, Brandon was the rightful winner that year.
Absolutely.
I would have loved, when I say I shoulda, woulda, coulda, I just want to stand on stage against
Of
them
course.
guys. It would have been my year as probably to bring the conditioning in, right? I would have been the apple to oranges, but size I wouldn't have had, and that's the reason why I took 2019 off.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, but
We
go
got
back
to watch from the box, and we
Yeah.
we did.
that team, actually.
With that team, yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. But as I say, going back to them guys, I've traveled around the world with Robin, Maria, who else was
Mercy.
there? Mercy, yeah,
Sandy.
yeah. Sandy's judged me, in Korea. Ted, Robin is, listen, wherever I went on the road after the Olympia, Robin was there. So that's kind of incredible peace of mind for me, because you know that things are going to get done right,
Yeah.
overly right.
Yeah, I don't even think about it
No.
when it comes to them. And then, of
No.
course, with it being in Tennessee, then you get the Tennessee NPC expediting team, which
Yep.
Alan and Becca do a great job.
They do a great job. Shout out to them. Obviously,
Yeah, shout out Alan and Becca
yeah.
Sizemore.
they they've come through the system too. They started off as expediters, then
Yeah.
turned into judges, and then
Well,
turned into
originally
show
competitors.
promoters
Yeah,
and competitors
competitors.
before that.
Yeah.
So they've been
Becca's
there,
a
seen
pro.
there, won the T-shirt,
Yeah.
and now they're able to stand, as promoters themselves and as state chairman. So shout out Alan and Becca, for doing a great job of Tennessee, and they really are. They're doing a great
They
job.
are.
They're growing it, and they're putting on regular NPC events where athletes get to ask the questions. Imagine, having this, globally now. Sandy's just put on a show, a posing seminar, stroke NPC workshop here in Vegas not so long ago. And I know there's, not cutting anybody out only because I'm privy to these people. But in every single state now, there's these NPC NPC workshops where athletes, whether they're new, whether they're, experienced, get the chance to go there, ask the questions, show off the improvements. They ask for bodybuilders and female figure, bikini, wellness, whatever it is, whatever division that is there, and they have them athletes to jump on stage, or their little, makeshift stage they have. They will critique them. They will actually learn hands-on, as opposed to having somebody that's their coach from a distance, from a piece of paper, be like, hey, you're looking great, and then they get on stage and they're a bag of nerves because they don't know what to do. So, and that's also opened a massive space for posing coaches. There was no posing coaches when I was growing up. I learned from fucking looking at Sean Ray and Lee Priest.
We didn't even have seminars. Are you kidding me?
No.
When I was competing, you didn't even really, aside from just showing up to whatever show you were going to do, you didn't really know. I'm not going to say what years that was, because that would date me. But
Well, it all has to do with social media when you really think about it, because how are you going to get that information out? How are you as a person going to see it? Unless they have your email or your phone, which they're not going to do. So social media has really helped get the word out, because all it takes is one friend to see it and say, oh, my friend competes, and then send it to you quickly, So that's really helped business, all different types of businesses, but especially, the NPC and IFBB kind of get these workshops up and running, and people to meet other people and connect, to do these workshops together or to host one.
And that's cool too, because back in the day anyways, I don't feel like anybody wanted to connect with other competitors. It was more like, you're my competition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember sitting Eastern States show in this, I don't know, 2002 maybe, I don't know, early 2000s, sitting backstage, and every guy in the heavyweight class staring at each other like they all wanted to fucking kill each other. Because that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Right?
I've
Everybody
still been to
looked at-
shows like that, though.
I've been to shows like that too.
Yeah.
I actually kind of enjoy it to some extent. I
Still
like
caught up.
seeing camaraderie and all that shit, which usually happens after the show.
Yeah.
But back then it'd be like, everybody had their headphones in, staring at each other like they're gonna fucking eat each other for dinner. It's like, that's what it was at the time.
Yeah. I remember going to a couple of shows back in the day, and you have the athletes athletes meeting the day before, and you do the weigh-ins also.
Yeah.
and everybody's all, chippy and, but they're kind of the last day before and people kind of nod and, they say, hello or whatever it is. But there's never like this abundance of, oh my God, great to see you. Even if you know that person, everybody's kind of zoned in. And it's part and parcel of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to prejudging and then that tone gets fucking turned up. And you feel the other people grilling you. And the coaches grilling you too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've been backstage when I've competed against some of the international athletes. And in their world, obviously they're fucking king. Whatever they're coming from, they're put on a pedestal. They're told they're the best. And then when they get to play in, an open field with athletes that they've never stood against, like American pros traveling overseas. And again, I'm not going to name countries because people will fucking gather who I'm talking about. But I've been in changing rooms and somebody, they're all kind of looking in their group. They're a pack of wolves looking at me like fucking grilling me. And I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? No noise, no mumble, just the movement of head. And I'm like, oh, okay, fuck you then. I'll do my talking on stage.
Yeah.
And then when the show is over, these guys, oh, my brother, or whatever accent I can pull off right now. And I'm like, nice to meet you guys. How are you? But before that, these fuckers wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
And I could feel it. But, that's part and parcel of it. I was in my own zone too. I'd walk around pacing back and forth with my headphones on. And maybe I was that person to somebody else when they were trying to get my attention. So, you look at Backstage at the Olympia in every 212 class that I've ever competed in. And there's like a small group of people I would be around. And I would say tolerate, and these names obviously will stay anonymous. But we would huddle up in the same room. There was the same area that we'd get together to every single year. And it was kind of like a welcome party of like, hey, what's going on? And we'd all get together, help each other out in a sense, that camaraderie. And then when you walk into that pump-in room where, all eyes are on you then, and that would make me nervous, to be honest.
Especially at the Olympia, because backstage at the Olympia, you got cameras everywhere.
Oh.
Everyone's
so much
watching.
is going on.
And, in the pump-up area, you got a lot of people who are just recording and, there's a different level of pressure, too, in that pump-up room.
I remember walking out from the self-made dressing rooms that they do, pipe and drape dressing rooms.
Yeah.
And there would be always guys from international countries just lingering, waiting, and they were trying to peek out and peep into the room you're in, and the security would be like, get away kind of thing. So they'd be just waiting. And then I had to face the inevitable. I get all fucking nervous thinking about this, actually. Fucking flashbacks. I'd open up the curtains, and then these guys were, and they were taking photos, and they were filming, and some people obviously would be like, got press passes on, but they were trying to take selfies too. It's like, fucking hell, guys. And then when you walk into, just to paint the picture, there's these pipe and drapes, which lead into like towards the restroom part. It's away from the pump-up room. And I would be in the furthest pipe and drape changing room. And then I would have to walk past all the other pipe and drapes changing rooms until I got to the pump-up area, which is kind of directly behind the stage.
Yeah.
And there's all the mirrors that are set up. There's like a mini gym that's set up there. And when you get your pump on, and I would kind of always have a T-shirt on. I probably wouldn't have any shorts on, I'd have my posing trunks ready. So the only thing people could see really is my quads and my calves. And I would get a little bit of a pump on, and then I would take my top off, and then that's where shit went fucking bananas.
And it's funny, too, I think, for any competitor. I'm sure they'll probably agree. When you're backstage, but I think the Olympia is a great example of it, especially because you can watch everybody actually lift and pump up with actual weights.
Yeah.
It's deceiving.
Yeah.
You can see somebody and be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Right? They are going to smoke me.
Yeah.
And you can get in your own head like that because backstage, in that lighting especially, everybody looks phenomenal.
I know.
And they are, right? I mean, they're there for a reason. But you can't see what the judges are going to see.
Yeah.
You can't compare yourself the way that the judges will. So it can be very deceiving backstage. You'll be like, man, look at that fucking guy. Holy shit. I know that's how I've seen it firsthand. I've seen guys size each other up backstage especially, and it's kind of fun to watch, because everybody, I don't care how good you are, everybody gets nerves.
Do you know the biggest, Oh, fucking hell. Here we go.
Look at this
Oh, my
fucking
God.
bum.
Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm getting all the fucking celebrities calling in today.
What's up, guy?
All right, fuck you. I'm hanging up.
What's up, guy?
All right, bye.
Oh, don't go.
Who's there?
Well, you called the
father.
number.
It's Doug,
Is this live?
Allie.
Yes.
Doug, Ali, and me.
What's up, you
What's
What's
up,
your
everybody?
question?
What are you going on, brother? What's your question?
My
Fight away.
question is, fire away my question. Where would realistically Lex Lewis be without Allie?
I know the
I
answer
love
to that.
you.
You guys can answer that.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
It's probably true.
That's the
No,
answer.
I'm going to say this. I actually have a question because I've seen this in relationships in the industry with couples that are both pros. Obviously, Allie was a very good bikini pro coming up. I watched her compete as I watched Flex compete, and I think it's important because you guys kind of like shifted kind of roles in a way, right? So, like, how did you guys as a couple kind of figure out, like, who jumped in what seat in regards to business? And, you know, obviously Flex being the face of the company, but Allie, I know how much time and effort you put into stuff on the back that a lot of people don't see in regards to the gym, apparel, day-to-day activities. So how did you guys kind of figure out who took, you know, what roles? Because obviously now that, you know, I have a relationship that's been going on for a while, you know, we're trying to figure out ways to incorporate her helping me in my day-to-day stuff and making her prosper as being a new pro. So how did you guys go about kind of delegating and structuring your business? Because I know that probably had to be a hard thing to do.
Well, you mean to answer mine first?
I could answer it as a
question was
spectator.
I'll say this. I'm.
Is that a bad question to ask? I mean, I think that's a
No.
very
It's
lot of
a
people
great
wanna know
question.
that.
I'm very good at certain things, and I suck at a lot of other things. And Ali's strengths,
Like remembering.
yes, Ali's strengths, exactly. Ali's strengths are my weaknesses, and you know,
Yep.
Ali's weaknesses are my strengths, I guess. You know, so we kind of played that card, and it was very hard to relinquish a lot of my, I guess, my early business stuff that I was getting involved with until Ali came along. But I don't want to kind of segue from you and Doug, so you go ahead. Doug's probably got a different perspective too from the outside in.
Well, the difference also is that, yes, I was competing, but I was kind of trying to find out if I was going to continue to compete or not. So it was like a perfect opportunity for me to be still involved in the sport, but not necessarily have to go on stage. So for me, it was I was also in school too. So keep in mind that I was in grad school at the time that we kind of really got together. I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to compete, but you know, like Flex said, I just kind of saw in him ways that I could help him, and that it was very easy for me to. So it wasn't like I had to learn a new thing. It was just, you know, I cared about him, and I was like, well, how can I make his life a little easier? And so that's kind of how it started. And it was never the game plan to be where we are now, in a sense. It wasn't like, okay, our game plan is to create this massive business. And, you know, that wasn't necessarily the initial outlook. Obviously, over time, once we realized we worked well together and I knew kind of what I was strong at and he could relinquish some of the control, or not be so worried. He knew I would do the right thing, I guess. You know, that was part of it in the beginning. There is that period of, you know, let me just make these decisions. I don't need to ask you for these decisions, you know. Once I solidified myself in that role of kind of doing more of the admin side and seeing where I can kind of help him out so he could do his job better. Like, he had to train, you know. He didn't have to worry about how to ship an order out, you know, or worry about how can we, you know, design new clothing. Like, you know, that was kind of really how it started, is us working together more on how I could kind of help him. Certain things were stressful for him that I would not get stressed about. So it was kind of like he said, you know, his weaknesses, I was pretty strong at. So I also, like I said, at the time was kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of like, do I compete again? So it kind of made it easier because I was like, oh, I could be a cheerleader now. You know, I could still live the lifestyle, but I don't have to go on stage anymore. And I never had to go on stage. Let's clear that up. I kind of had the goals that
Was it ever?
Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I had goals obviously as a competitor, and I kind of met them at that point, you know. So it wasn't that hard for me to be like, you know what, I saw the light. I was like, you know, I came, I saw, I conquered, and now this is a different role for me. I can support him in his goals. At that point, he didn't win an Olympia yet, and that was his goal. And so that was kind of like, well, how can I help him reach his goal and then still be part of the same community?
I'll tell a story about the first time I met Allie.
In a way, you kind of put your competitive career on the back burner to help him. So obviously as a competitor, just being competitive, like in anything, like was that difficult? Like obviously we all know who Flex is and why he's successful because he's such an amazing bodybuilder in person. But was that hard to put your personal goals and aspirations aside to help him? Was that a struggle at all, or you kind of were at peace with the fact that you like competing might take a backseat for a little bit more for good?
I was fine with it, to be honest, at the time, because when I got into the sport, my goal was just to do a show. I did a show. The next goal is I want to win a show. So I won it. And then it was like, oh, okay, I want to turn pro, whatever that meant at the time. I was one of the first kind of groups of pro bikinis.
You did Division 1.
Yeah. So then it like each time my goal was set. So it was like, I want to win a show, did it. I want to turn pro, did it over time, right? Not after like one show. But then it was, I want to win a pro show. I won my first pro show. And at that time you got qualified for Olympia. And I was like, all right, guess I'm going to the first Olympia. So I did that. And then they started the first Arnold. And I said, well, I want to qualify for the first Arnold with an invite. So I did that. So I kind of, you know, I ticked these boxes. And at the time, it wasn't necessarily like, I'm going to stay in this until I win Olympia. That was not really like on my goal list at the time. I was going to grad school. So it was kind of, you know, I remember probably having a talk with Flex and he's like, well, why would you be doing it? You know, like what, I need a goal to be able to do it. Everyone asks me, are you going to go back on and compete? It's like, well, what's my goal? You know, and it's not a financial thing, but I would have to have a goal, from a competing standpoint. And so I didn't really have one at the time. You know, I set out, I did what I wanted to do, and a break would have actually kind of benefited me, you know, and my body. And like I said, testing out being this kind of cheerleader role was kind of nice, you know, like I can still be in and I still prepped with him. I just didn't get on stage, you know? So it kind of was for me a breath of fresh air because like I said, I did accomplish what I wanted to accomplish when I was competing. So I didn't feel like I had to put anything on hold.
I think a lot of people did this take into an account, and I'm sure Flex and Doug will weigh in on this as well. And I don't want to extend my invitation to the question. So if I'm too long, just tell me to shut the fuck up.
You're fine.
Did making that decision in part have any way? Did the fact that obviously anybody that's in the sport, woman or female, I mean, it's not biased to say that obviously it's a very male dominating sport, and the men, as far as contracts go and obligations, they do obviously a little well off than the women do, and the contracts are more substantially greater for men. Did that play a role in the fact that like maybe the women don't get as much monetary value as the guys kind of are looked at? Obviously, you have your select women that do very well as far as sponsorship goes, but as far as monetary value, there's not a lot of women with big contracts and making a ton of money. You have your slim pickings, but did that play a role in changing your views as to how you were going to go about like finding what direction you were going to do? Because I know a lot of women love competing, but a lot of things I hear about the women is that there's really not a lot of money in the sport for women competitively as far as sponsors go. So did that ever play a role in your mind as to making the move to be more business savvy than competitive?
Yes. And to be honest, I didn't go into competing to make this a career. So that's
She's looking for a sugar daddy, and she found it.
For sure. No, but to be honest, like I said, I kept saying I was in school. I was in grad school. I was going to be a registered I became a registered dietitian. So for me, I kind of felt torn, to be honest, because I was doing something that I was passionate about, but it wasn't really career based. It was like, okay, like competing to me was fun. It was a way, it was challenging. It was a goal setting type of reason for me to get in the gym, to be completely honest. I'm competitive. So for me to get in the gym and to tick these boxes was something. At the time, it was never really like, I'm going to do this as a job and make a lot of money. Like that never really crossed my mind. Obviously now there's a lot more money that can be made as a female in this industry with social media. You know, I had no Instagram when I was on that stage, you know. We talked about this with a question before with posing coaches, or we were just talking about it. Like there's a lot of ways you can make money now as a female than before. But no, to answer your question, for me, it was a hobby. I was passionate about, but you know, he was the one who was making this his career. So for me, it was, you know, a no-brainer to support him to reach his goals.
And Guy, I just want to say this because I knew Flex before Allie, and then when he met Allie, and given where he was at that time, both geographically and the people around him and everything else, he did have some good people around, but he had a lot of people who were freeloaders, just honestly, and I think they were a distraction from the bigger goal. Flex had big goals at the time, and I don't know if everyone around at that time believed he would achieve those goals, but they were very happy to ride his coattail wherever they could. And so the first time I actually met Allie, I remember I didn't really know her, but we're watching some backwoods fucking MMA match.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! Yes.
In some, like, I don't know what building we were in, a high school or some shit.
Spring Hill,
Tennessee.
Tennessee,
right? And it's my first time meeting Allie, and the thing that stood out to me was the people that were around Flex back then. None of them were trying to help him be better, right? They weren't doing anything to try to help him achieve those goals. And so I'd heard a lot about Allie. And the first thing that I noticed was her alarm went off on her phone, and she reached in her bag, grabbed a meal, stuck it in front of Flex, and said, eat. That stood out to me. Yeah. I still remember that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Because all that it showed me anyways was here's somebody who's selfless, who's looking out for his goals and prioritizing what he needs to do. I knew pretty much instantly from that moment that, like, this is going to work because – you know, that's how I saw it as an outsider. And I don't even know if I've ever really said that to Allie.
I've never heard that story. Wow.
But, you know, however many years later, I don't forget shit.
You don't.
And so it just stood out to me as something, it's small, but if you're a competitor, you know the importance of that, you know?
Yeah. And you know what I'm like with meals.
Yeah, and you know that most women would be like, oh, fuck your meal.
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy this and be present.
So you just answered my question. I was going to say that it's very hard for a lot of people, and this is like kind of like a little a praise to Allie, but to not have resentment, because as a man, right, you know, if I had to give up competing to help out my girlfriend, I think a part of me would have a little bit of resentment knowing that I had to step away from competing. So the fact that Allie did it, you know, without even questioning and selfless the way she did to step up to Flex, I think that's great. And I think that shows the type of person she is. And I think that, you know, I think Flex's work ethic, his dedication, his genetics, and his just drive is a huge part to his success. But I also give Allie some of the credit for, you know, what she does on the back end, because I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to do what we do, and then to find somebody who's willing to take that seat the way Allie did and help her partner succeed and be such a huge part to his success. I think a lot of people don't even realize that Allie's a pro half the time and how good she really was when she was on stage. I don't think people even remember that she's a pro, and I think it's amazing that she accomplished all she accomplished, and she has her degree, and she was willing to put a lot of stuff aside to grow a business with Flex and to be where you guys are now. And I've known Flex since, you know, before he was married the first time, and I've seen Flex go through all trials and tribulations of life, and I think you two are like a perfect it. I think she picks up the pieces that, he's not too good with, and I think he picks up the pieces that maybe Allie is not too good with. So I think it's a testament to you guys as a relationship to how successful people can be in this industry when done the right way. So, congrats to you two.
She also
Thank
knows
you.
she knows
Thank
where
you,
his car
thank
keys and phone are too.
Which
is,
Yeah, that's part of the success.
Well, she knows too, and
Is he going?
Allie's become like a closer friend in the past 5 months because every time I go to text my girlfriend, I'll text Allie first, and she'll be like, "Wrong Allie."
I'm like, yeah.
just please don't
Jesus
send any dick
Christ.
pics.
Yeah.
I've
Thank
done
you,
it like
Guy.
50 times already.
Yeah.
I did it today. I sent her like 10 pictures. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wrong
Yeah,
person."
she was like, "What is this?" She looking
like,
up.
"Wrong
She turned the
alley."
phone upside down.
Yeah.
No, but listen, Guy, I really appreciate you saying that, man. Obviously, you've been there through, through many different stages, many different moves, many different chapters. But I have to kick you off. We got another call coming through, my brother.
Last one probably, right?
Last one of the day.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Guy.
Guy.
Love you,
All
man.
right.
Love you, bro. Hello, hello.
You are live,
Are we live?
or maybe you're not.
Hello, hello. You are live. Who is
Yo,
this?
good question for you guys. Who the fuck is Rando Doug Green guy?
Oh my gosh. Who are we talking to here? Who is this?
This is Yonder, dude.
Who is it?
Yeah, my name's Yonder.
Yonder. What's up, Yonder? What's
What's
going
up
on?
yonder?
I'm just driving to work, man. What are you guys doing?
We are chilling out, waiting to.
Bullshitting with random people like you.
Let's go. What's happening, my friend? Fill us in. Tell us what's going on and give us a question if you want to ask something.
I'm a farmer out here in Tennessee, man. I'm just cruising on through. I saw you guys doing a podcast for CallIn. Say, what up, dude?
What's up?
Where in Tennessee you at?
Knoxville, bro.
Oh, Knoxville.
Okay.
Okay.
East
I
Tennessee.
spend many.
So who's this Doug Green guy, though?
I don't know. I'm sure you know this guy.
Do we know each other?
Can't say.
Can't
Doug,
say.
we got somebody that knows you. You're calling in, my
Probably true. My business partner lives in Knoxville, actually. Got quiet.
friend. Yeah. Is he still?
Doug, tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Who am I? Well, I go back with Flex, which is probably why I'm sitting here. I don't know how many years have we known each other.
A long time. Double figures.
A long time. Yeah. We met in a nightclub I used to own. And I've been around this industry, God. I competed in 01, maybe the first time, 2001. And that's actually how Flex and I got to know each other, is when he came in my club, I told him, like, hey,
Chill
I
the
know
fuck
who you are. No, I told him I know who you are and I respect you and I respect what you're doing. And he was surprised because at the time he was a newer pro.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't have the notoriety he does now. And then since he and I have co-promoted shows together, now we don't currently, but hopefully we'll bring that back. And I'm the co-promoter of the Junior Nationals, but that's what I do, honestly, for fun.
Yes, I'd.
I'm a businessman first and foremost, so I've got a few businesses that I run. So that's kind of the very short version of who I am. I'm from Nashville.
Talk about the business. Let's be honest. Regardless of what the question is, the business has blown up post-COVID. Let's be honest, Doug.
Yeah, business is great. It's not easy, but it's awesome. We do a lot of things. It's actually very hard to describe on a podcast, much easier to show pictures or videos of. But we do a lot of different things, but it's all production related, mostly video production related. Everything from design, and we have a lot of design work we're doing currently, and to integration, live event production. We do a lot of different things. So,
And you've worked with some big names.
yeah, we work with, we're really blessed to have some cool clients. And, kind of synergistically, I was doing the production for the Mr. Olympia at the time that Flex was actually competing. And coincidentally, truly it is a coincidence that we both stopped at the same exact time.
It's true.
Yeah.
As odd as that is. And it had nothing to do with one another. It's just the way it worked out.
Yeah. Does that help, Yonder?
Absolutely, bro. Thank you guys for the talk, man.
Hey, appreciate it, buddy.
Flex, you guys take it easy. Love you guys.
Hey,
Take
love
care,
you
bro.
too, brother.
Love the energy, Yonder. Thanks for the call, my friend. Be
All right,
safe
man.
going to work. Well, I think that wraps up.
Yeah.
Over
think it was
Yonder.
fun.
Over
Yeah.
Yonder was the last call.
I feel like I know who that is, but I don't know.
I have no
I
fucking
have
clue.
caller ID, so I know every single person
Well,
that's calling.
I will tell you
so-
this. Today has been
Unique.
one that I'll share.
Fine, go ahead.
One that I was actually pretty nervous about because
You paced. I
was
watched you
I was
pace.
fucking pacing. I'm not one to not go into something without any type of preparation. So any podcast we've ever done, myself and Ali, and obviously I know you, we all have our own kind of ways of researching. And for me, I get a lot from YouTube. I get a lot from whatever it is. But coming in today, unknowing who was going to call, I was fucking nervous. I was fucking
I love
nervous.
it.
I thought it was going to be fun.
I
And
was
it was
nervous.
fun.
Yeah, we lost
Yeah,
a lot
it
of calls. I know that.
We did, so we have to figure out that situation.
We
but
have to try and find a way of putting people on hold, I think. If there is a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. But the people that did call in are very well-known people, so that's kind of cool. A lot
Yeah,
of
which-
them.
We got to do it again.
We got to do it
Yeah.
again. And
But this was a cool one.
yeah, unscripted. I didn't ask. Obviously, I've got personal relationships with pretty much everybody that called in today, other than Yonder and whoever else called in. I can't remember who else called in. But everybody else who came in after the fact. Antoine, thank you very much. Evan, thank you very much when you finally
Guy.
asked this
Lee.
question. Lee Priest,
Yeah.
opening up the day with Lee Priest.
Hell yeah.
Guy Cisternino. Not one of them guys that I ask or, kind of hint to call in today. To be honest, I'm very appreciative and thank you. Obviously, we had a lot of calls that were coming in during my mic. I had a lot of calls that were coming in during when they were online and on
Yeah.
air. But of course, you can't kick up the big whales, right? These guys are phenomenal at what they've done. They've lived their life, and I think it just has been for the first live on air. I think it was a good one.
I think we got to do it again, and we'll do it with more advanced notice.
More advanced notice, more
Yeah.
more kind of. I don't know. We'll work out the kinks. So this for us, I think, considering this was the first one, we've gone on air live, and obviously I'm speaking to, my production guy, Bronson. I think you've done a great job today pulling this off, mate.
Yes.
We are very appreciative for you also, mate. I know you're the man behind the camera. You made many a cameo in my Bet Online stuff, but that's the guy.
Actually, right here is where we need to put him crawling on the floor.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
But he has to do the editing now.
Yeah,
So he's
so
not gonna
edit
put
that
that
in, Bronson.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's been one for the books,
Yes.
one that I never even thought about doing, but I think it's definitely one that we'll most definitely be doing again in the
Yes.
future.
Yeah.
More advanced, more advanced notice for everybody to call in. Obviously, not just flash 24 hours.
Yeah, and save your ideas and your questions
Yeah.
for that next one.
And comment below, guys. We want to hear what you want to see, want to, maybe evolve on this. We're
Who you
always-
want to see,
who you wanna
what you
see.
want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
and we are actually right now currently 1 week away. Well, not this weekend, next weekend for the Mr. USA. Actually, a week away because
we
people
are a
will
week
be
away. That's right.
Thursday. People will be coming in. Friday. I'm so sorry. Friday. So they'll be competing a week today.
From the
So-
USAs.
So good luck to all the athletes that are coming in because obviously this podcast is going to be dropping on Monday.
Monday.
It'll be
yeah.
a
So,
hectic week here
yeah.
at the Lair, too. You
It's
know
going to be
that.
wild, guys. So
Yeah.
we're welcoming everybody and anybody here to the Lair. This is the hot spot. This is the place to be. You're going to see the who's who and all the athletes, pros, amateurs, all coming in, and we're looking forward to seeing more pros coming in on the Sunday after receiving the pro card. So good luck, guys. This is episode 10 out.
See you
We are
guys.
done. Peace.